up, everybody? Welcome back. Justin here. We're in the car. We're on the way to the theater. For the first time in a long time. I say we. It's really just me, but it's us. It's me and you. Whoever's watching right now, it's date night. Me and you, it's date night. We're getting ready to go see M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong's new movie, Old. I'm really excited about this one. The trailer looks promising. It looks super weird. I don't even know if I finished the whole trailer. I kind of wanted to keep it as much of a mystery as possible. It looks super interesting. The premise looks bizarre. I didn't really care for the second Split movie. What was it called? Glass. I wasn't a big fan of Glass. I love Split, but I just wasn't that big of a fan of Glass, so I'm really excited to see him kind of try something new. So we're headed to the theater now. I'll talk to you when we get there. Just got out of the movie and I really want to talk about it. I have so many thoughts about that movie. Old was absolutely insane. I was going to do a quick review here in my car, but I'm going to go home because I want to talk about this in a proper setting. So I'll see you when I get home. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the movie room. I hope you enjoyed the vlog portion of the review. I was just going to put out some quick thoughts in my car after the movie, but after thinking about the insanity that was Old, this movie deserves a proper review. Right off the bat, I'm going to say, if you are a fan of M. Night Shyamalan, especially a lot of his quirkier stuff, his left-of-center stuff like The Happening or his earlier movies, I think you are really going to enjoy this. This movie is absolutely batshit insane. Old is a crazy movie. It is M. Night Shyamalan at his most Shyamalama-dongiest, for sure. We're going to get into all that. I have a lot to say about this movie, and ultimately I have a lot of positive things to say about this movie, even though after what I just experienced watching that movie, I can definitely predict a lot of people having a lot of issues with this movie that I would totally understand. I would totally understand why people would hate this movie or think it's ridiculous, but we'll save that stuff for a minute. Let's talk about what I loved about M. Night Shyamalan Old. It was written and directed for the screen by M. Night Shyamalan based on a graphic novel called Sandcastle. A mom and a dad on the verge of divorce. Their two kids who are fully aware of their parents' issues. They go to a resort to either maybe patch up what they can or maybe have this be the last hurrah their family has as a full unit before they split up. The movie is beautifully shot. It looks gorgeous. It has all the hallmarks of M. Night Shyamalan's visual style, unique camera placement, awesome reveals, and sweeping camera movements. It was shot on 35mm. The color looks good. The location is absolutely gorgeous. I don't know where he shot this movie, but it takes place on an island, and the beach and the rocks and the sand and the ocean, they all look absolutely beautiful. It's a stunningly beautiful movie. It's always easier to watch a movie when the locations are so beautiful. It's just a visually stunning movie. I have a lot of positive things to say, and then I have a lot of things that I think people are going to have a lot of issues with that we'll get into too. Ultimately, the takeaway, the themes of this movie are valuing the time that you have on this earth. Now, I'm sure you realize the basic premise of this movie is the fact that this family, once they get to the island and the properties of this island in this location of the world that they are in, makes people rapidly age at an insanely fast rate. It's a really unique premise to tell a story with and to convey all of the themes that this movie explores. And that's the standout of this movie. M. Night has a way of using characters to kind of make you pontificate and think about life in a really unique way. He make you think about your life, think about the decisions that you make. He uses the characters to show you the negative aspects of vanity or focusing solely on your career or not taking a step to stop and smell the roses, as they say. Every character has their own unique problem or issue that they're dealing with, and that all relates to the time on Earth, whether it may be an illness or dementia or pregnancy or death or loss. It's a lot. There's a lot going on in this movie because of the nature of the way the story is told. There is a lot of quick sort of tonal changes that may be a little jarring. So many things happen so abruptly and randomly, and absurd things do happen in this movie that I think may take some people out of it. Some of the scenarios, the situation that seemingly happen out of nowhere, I could see these things taking people out of it. If some people said that this movie was just too much and it was just ridiculous and absurd and they thought it was the stupidest thing they'd ever seen, I'm not sure that I could argue with them. I'm not sure that I could argue with people saying that the things that happen in this movie are just too much and they are unable to take it seriously. But I think if you strap in, prepare yourself for a wild and crazy Shyamalan ride, I think there's a lot to get out of this movie, including some of the most insane imagery, some of the most shocking scenes that I've seen in a long time that really took me back, especially I think added that I saw it in a theater with other people. There's a couple really shocking scenes that that really kind of made my jaw drop, especially towards the end. One particular scene that takes place in a cave was such a shocking visual, and I absolutely loved it. There's a couple of scenes in this movie that really happen abruptly, and they're shocking, and they're amazing. I'm still thinking about a lot of the imagery and the insane visuals in this movie still long after I've left the theater. The takeaways that M. Night wanted you to take away from this movie about valuing your life, valuing the time that you have here on this earth, I think he really he conveyed in a successful way. I think he crafted a really unique movie, and ultimately I highly recommend that you see it. Just be aware that there will be some tonal shifts, some bizarre and absurd scenarios that honestly may cause some unintentional laughter, but I feel like if you're a big fan of Shyamalan, if you've seen a lot of his movies, you're already used to the quirkiness of his filmmaking. I think this film is probably more for the hardcore M. Night fans. If you're a fan of The Happening, it's not quite as ridiculous as The Happening, but there's still a lot of the same themes, a lot of the pontificating on life and the human condition. All that stuff is there. All of his great camera work is there. All of his unique filmmaking quirks are all on full display in Old. I think there are far too many films that are just forgettable. So when I see a movie that I know I'm not going to forget, that I know is telling an original story that's unique, even if it's ridiculous, I'm going to recommend that people see original films that aren't part of a franchise, that aren't part of an existing property, that aren't a sequel of a sequel of a sequel of a reboot. I like original stories, and that's what this is. This is a movie that you won't soon forget. It's an original story. It's an original take on this type of material and these themes, and I want more people to go to the theater and support original stories. So skip Black Widow and go see Old. That's my recommendation. I'll also be posting my review for Nicolas Cage's Pig soon, which I can't wait to talk about with you guys. But I want you guys to go and see Old. The rewatchability on this may not be as high as some other films that I really, really enjoy. Probably sitting at maybe a soft 6, a 5.5 as rewatch. I think once all of the cards of this movie are revealed, there's not as much on a rewatch quality. But ultimately, I want you guys to go see this movie. Support original films, support quirky, weird, batshit crazy films by M. Night Shyamalan, and support him in the theaters. So I think we're done here, guys. I really appreciate you guys watching. Stay weird. Remember to always be yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
I love movies. Gosh, I love movies. I love watching them, and I love making them.